bringing forward to you the LT&A Chatter Project. And I'm calling it the Chatter Project because it isn't something new. I'm actually bringing back something that I used to do on the Facebook platform with the LT&A group, which is my company, called Contracting Chatter. And the chatter was where I basically discussed things government contracting. We discussed where to find the projects at. We discussed industry codes and ACE codes and things of that nature. I brought in some of my power partners and we just discussed the behind the scenes of contracting. Well, the chatter project is going to be a little different because I'm going to up level and mature the conversation. Because in this iteration of the chatter project, I'm taking chatter to a whole new level where we're going to discuss what's going on in the entire industry. We're going to go beyond where to find the contracts, and we're going to talk to you about being contract compliant. We're going to talk to you about the rules and regulations governing contracting, which means what are the new regs coming out? There are several new FAR updates coming out. I am quite sure people operating within the government space do not know, especially new entrants. And for those who are just hopping on, my name is Luciana Turner. I have been a government compliance auditor operating in the space for right at 20 years, probably more like 17, give or take. Prior to that, I operated in the nonprofit area for 5 years. So I launched my company to teach small businesses how to be power partners, how to operate within their power within the industry. Because what I saw in talking with my peers and my contemporaries is the small businesses were trying to go after these large endeavors and these large projects, but they were really doing shots in the dark. They were taking stabs, hoping they would stumble into success. And on the odd chances they were successful and they were achieving rewards, they were really crippling their prime partners by not knowing the rules of engagement. I actually remember having a conversation with one of our project managers where one of the subcontractors we were working with really felt like we as the prime were supposed to help them run their business. And that is not the prime's job. When you bid on a contract, you are supposed to be able to effectively operate your business and therefore come in as a partner with the prime, not a liability, because the prime does not have time to operate their business and yours. It just doesn't work that way. And while a lot of small businesses feel jaded, a lot of small businesses feel like they're left out of the loop and they're left out of very big opportunities. The truth of the matter is, a lot of small businesses do not take the time to build the infrastructure and the foundation to form or to become a true strategic partner. And that comes from information, that comes from applied information, that comes from putting in the work. That is what the Chatter Project is for. The Chatter Project is here to give you that information. And this is our inaugural launch or relaunch of Contractors Chatter, but the inaugural launch of the Chatter Project. So, from this point out, and here's some of the topics that I will be discussing. Now, as you come in the room, please say hello. I just, we're all taught as you enter the room, you greet those in the room. And I want to greet those in the room, but I need to know you're here. So just say hello as you come in. I'm sitting here in my home office before I start my day. And I would just like to greet everybody who comes by And if you come through and you're catching this in the replay, just do hashtag replay so I can acknowledge that you stopped through. And if you have any questions or you want me to address a certain topic, drop it in the comments, send me a DM. I am more than happy to do some research and bring you an informed answer. So let's go. Some of the topics that I will be addressing is the contract spending. So far, the government has increased contract spending for this government year by $83 million. That is a significant increase. The talk in the streets in the government is that they're actually going to pass a budget. I don't know if you're aware or not, but we haven't had a budget in years. We've been operating off of continuing resolutions. And that's why we keep hitting spending ceilings and there's been stop starts and contracts. But there's talk on the street about actually forcing Congress to approve a budget this year. And that shouldn't be shocking since we haven't had one since President Obama took office, which was 12 years ago. We've been operating as a country on continuing resolutions for the last 12 years. So this will be the first actual budget passed, if it happens, in quite some time. And that will solidify the congressional spending, which will give us hard, fast numbers. We will see more smoothness and contract spending over the next 4 years, if they do that, because contracting obligations, they tend to obligate their funds for 4 years, even though each year gets a budget. Contracting terms tend to run for 2 to 4. Some contracts, very large ones, run for 10 years. So a budget really stabilizes those contracts. We will be discussing some of the current FAR changes. As far as the federal acquisitions regulations, every contractor isn't covered by FAR or isn't regulated by FAR. However, if you are doing work with the Department of Defense, if you are doing work with some aspect of the Coast Guard, Security Exchange, you are governed by FAR. So these changes are applicable to you. And some of these FAR changes actually will change CAS, which is the cost accounting standards. And CAS coverage is dependent upon your contract value and contract worth. So depending upon your wins or losses, whether you're CAS covered. So you really want to stay in the know with what's going on with CAS. We're going to be talking about the upcoming spending forecasts. I'm going to bring back some of my power partners and do some provocative interviews. There's a lot of things that's going on as far as changing in how we're operating, new regulations, new oversights that a lot of people aren't aware of. The IRS is seeking a $1 trillion budget to go after people who are not paying their taxes. And the low-hanging fruit will be small businesses. So if you don't have your books in order, I suggest you get them in order. We're also going to be talking about there's this new bill being introduced in Congress called the Health Information Act. I need to do a little more research on how that is going to affect contractors and the businesses at large, but it will affect how you communicate information and how the government is going to deem or classify how you communicate that information. Then we have the HR 842, Protecting the Right to Organize Act of 2021. And whether you know it or not, that is going to have a significant impact on the freelancer market. And that also include those who are doing professional agreements with the government. And I'm going to tell you, for those of you who like to fly footloose and fancy free and operate in a less than strict manner when it comes to your record keeping, you really want to be aware of what's going on with that. So I want to keep today's live short because I just wanted this to be an introduction. But I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., bright and sharp, and we're going to discuss a few of those things. Be on the lookout for some of my power partners to join me. If you wish to be on my mailing list to stay in the know, just click on the link. You can join the charter mailing list, or you could just stay on our general mailing list and you can know about all things LT&A. So, with that, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. As always, I'm here for you. I will have a weekly Q&A period. So if there's any questions that you have for me, you can either ask them live or you can send me a DM. I will do some research and get back to you with an answer. And depending on the question, I just may make a whole segment out of it because there's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of information, quite frankly, people have wrong. And I am here to dispel the myths and get it right. So have a great day and be strategic and make sure you take time to enjoy yourself and decompress. Mind cannot be strategic and you cannot operate in your greatest self when you are hurried, when you are stressed, and when you're worried. Take time to decompress, take time to enjoy, take time for yourself. And with that, have a great day.